YouTube. How are you doing? How are you doing? Good to have you here. Welcome to another live stream on the channel. Every day, a new live stream, and a bit of volatility as well. How nice to see price moving to the downside. Really nice. Actually, a lot of the move happened overnight for me. So of course, yesterday we were explaining in the live stream, still looking for price to move down to hit that fib box, right? Went in quite a lot of detail yesterday and what I then look for as well. And we moved down impulsively into that box on a high amount of volume, not creating any range whatsoever or a bit of a grind up with bull CVD. It just tanked. So very clear, right? Wasn't interesting, and I was sleeping anyway. So, but yo, how you doing? Great to see you move to the downside. Great to see you guys here as well. I will be online for another about 55 minutes. Today is my dad's birthday. So tonight I'm going to go to my parents and celebrate the birthday of my father. So therefore tonight there won't be an update because I'll be hanging around the table with my family. So happy birthday to Dad. Cheers, Sibel. Appreciate it, guys. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So the live stream will be the final piece of content today, but then tomorrow we continue where we left off in the morning. Now, just in preparation, it depends on an email that I am yet to receive, but it might be like it's possible that tomorrow in the afternoon I have to fly to the south of France and then be back on Thursday. Now the content, therefore, like I will do an update tomorrow morning. I will do an update tomorrow night probably, but then from a hotel room. Not sure about a live stream in the afternoon, probably not. So I might live stream from the hotel in the evening. And on Thursday, I could do an update in the morning, but then no live stream in the afternoon and an update again at night because then I'm home again. And the reason I have to go is we're trying to get an apartment in the south of France as we're relocating. We sold the house in the Netherlands, so we're moving there. And we found a great apartment and we're quite far in the conversation. And depending on an email I still expect today, I might have to go there and check out the apartment in real. So a quick up and down to the south of France. And I will continue making content wherever I can. So, you know, just so you know, I'm from the Netherlands. So how far am I away? Well, to be exact, about 13,800 kilometers and a little bit from where I live now to the place where we are aiming to stay in the south of France. Okay, cool. What's up, guys? Sarah, QZ, Victor, Aaron, Adam. Good to have you all here. Hi, Kiran, Quantum Reality, Bull Flag. ETH would be a Sunday question, though, for the altcoins. Kiwi, what's up? Permis, how are you doing? Sibel, goedemiddag. Welkom. Afshin, getting addicted to the Koen's lies. Oh, boy. Expectations are high. I can't live now without Koen's videos and lives. Cheers, y'all. I gotta try and do a better job to actually put content online at set times, but it just puts a lot more pressure on my shoulders as my days are not always, like the mornings are not always the same. So if I would say every morning, 8 a.m., there's an update, I might not be able to deliver, and I don't like to not deliver to promises. So saying morning, afternoon, evening makes my life a lot easier. Yeah. I do have a question for you before we start with the analysis in a second, by the way. Yo, Gregors, how you doing? Kiwi, up, down, up, down. Up. Edgaras, welcome. Tortuga, how you doing? Maria, Sam, good to have you here. Welcome. You probably changed a small letter, I think, in your YouTube name, and that is why your name didn't align with a previous account name or username on YouTube. I think it maybe had to do with the dots on the A or something. The moment, if someone is a member and changes the username, I can't detect them anymore. So that is why sometimes people might be removed from membership channels, but still be a member, but they change their names. Pop. Cheers. Koen's dad birthday is Bitcoin pump day. Yeah, I should ask my dad. Okay. Rob, how you doing? Holo Crypto, welcome. Nice checking out the logos. Okay. So I have a question before I want to jump in the analysis, and it actually has to do with the analysis as well. So all 90 of you are able to have a voice. I very much listen to all the feedback I get because that's the only way to improve. So my question is, I am of course quite theoretical. I have a lot of knowledge in my brain about Elliott waves and I try to communicate it. But that's at the same time also the weakness. So the strength is the knowledge, the weakness equals the knowledge as well. Because I tend in analysis like videos or live streams, I tend to go over multiple time frames at the same time, at least one bullish and bearish scenario most of the time per time frame. So it can easily add up to 6 to 8 different scenarios in one video or one live stream. Now, as impressive as it is to go through the different time frames and do the analysis, and hopefully people can link things together, that's also the issue where possibly people that are beginning their Elliott Wave journey, maybe don't even really know their Elliott Wave journey or Elliott Waves yet, they might not be able to follow what's happening because there are 6 to 8 different scenarios, and they get confused, even though we go down in time frames from the daily to the 4 hour to the 1 hour, and it's almost like we're zooming into a scenario down. But I realize it might also confuse people. So my question is, do you think it is better to have less scenarios in a video and less time frames per video, and then talk a bit more in depth about the scenarios I cover, compared to doing many different time frames in one video, adding up to like 6-8 scenarios in total, as I always have a bullish and a bearish scenario, and at the end of the video talk about probabilities? So I'm just wondering, because I can imagine people that are experienced can easily follow the content, and I try to make it as easy as I can with my explanation and the different scenarios. But I do realize that maybe even though the scenarios are presented relatively easy, it might be confusing because of the amount of scenarios, even though it's only one bullish and one bearish per time frame. So give me your feedback. Let me know. I will make sure to save the chat that I have here, so I can also read through your feedback that you write me here, and I can note it down and take it with me. So just a quick read here, Adam. Oh yeah, the shorts playlist. Yeah, should make some shorts again. I wrote someone about marketing. How long have you been studying and analyzing markets using Elliott Wave principles? Since January 2021. How about go very into detail after the probability so you can refer to it, but not everyone needs to listen to it. Probabilities at the beginning of a video. Yeah, I think if you give probabilities at the beginning, then people might watch 5 seconds and they're like, okay, we done. You know what I mean? I have to figure out something there. Yop, what's up? How you doing? Today is better. Yeah, the connection is good as well. Add higher time frames in the probabilities without maybe analyzing them. Current is the best. Macro to micro is perfect. One time, weekly. Bullish and bear, less scenarios. Yeah, like what you're doing. That's relevant unless probabilities change. Is the perfect the way? Yeah, I mean, that's the case. It is the way it is, going top down, right? That is Elliott Wave analysis, different time frames, zooming in per time frame and see how it all connects and what we're looking for. So yeah, I guess that most people agree that we kind of like continue the way we do. Of course, I do not provide any financial advice, so any trading should be made based on your own decisions and not my videos. So of course, anything I do or any potential changes are not related to the trades that you take. Douwe, is this 2 different messages? Maybe add higher time frames in the probabilities. Oh, like the monthly. I mean, I usually do the monthly like once in a blue moon, and then the weekly is as high as we usually go. Cheers, Victor. Okay, the way they are. The daily two videos give a better overview of Bitcoin, both bullish and bearish. The live stream is good to clarify the doubts. I agree. Yeah, the live streams are good to interact. Morning, full update. Evening, small time frame. Okay, yeah. Indeed, we can because I upload 3 times a day. We can also mess around with morning more complete, live stream more detailed questions, and afternoon just a short like this is what happened. Keens, yeah, of course, Keystone Builders, absolutely. Like my email is koenztrading@outlook.com. So I'm actually, I contacted a friend of mine who sold his marketing company to a bigger marketing company because I'm looking into getting more stuff done on the marketing department and design and stuff as well. Yeah, we're going to get into the Elliott Wave analysis now. Any book recommendations for beginners? All the books are in the description, Chengon, so check it out. All of them, all the ones I recommend are in the Elliott Wave book list. I've had a big number of shorts by hedge funds. I don't use any fundamentals, or I mean, I should probably say this different because they are in shorts, but I don't look at anything else but the charts. So I won't be able to really give you an answer on this question. I don't really care much about how many shorts or longs they have. I just read the waves. Yeah. So I get it all out from the chart. Any financial advice on a good gaming PC? I mean, look, I'm not affiliated with any company, first of all. I have no benefits mentioning any names. However, so far, personally, I have always been very happy with the Acer Predator line. So that's also the PCs I always had, and including gaming laptops. So I don't know, that's the one that I really like. I currently, so the one that my streaming laptop for a long time is the Predator Triton 500. I already had it for a very long time, also before starting YouTube. For me, it helps a lot to have a clear structure. One scenario, zoom in the time frames. Maybe I'll visualize where in this wave we are. You rebuild it in TradingView. I do like to hear that, by the way. I rebuild it in TradingView. It helps with getting things done. Do you use multiple monitors in trading? I could trade on one monitor. I just have a 2-screen setup because I like more screens. Because I like to have chart window open, maybe my emails, do some other stuff, Discord, You missed 316. Not sure. Oh. If you're going to make shorts. Yeah, shorts also an option. Of course, make some more content, something I'm thinking about. Expecting lows, well, we're so close to 66.6k, probabilities are high to take it, but we're going to get it. A website is something that is partly in the making with Jeroen, and eventually it will be professionalized as well. So yeah, a website is on its way, I suppose. Do you use counter trading? Yes, I do. I do enter longs and shorts. Just as an example, actually interesting question. So I longed here, right? And I shorted here because I'm looking for swing trades. And the probabilities at the low of the range here were higher to move up. And the probabilities here were higher to look for a retracement, as explained during the live stream here as well. So I literally took it here with the stop above, because if the stop is hit, I would expect my long, first of all, to continue and then hit this resistance. So my long would cover the short. Now, this, of course, this one here, I put the stop loss at break even. So that's one, that one's done. And then we still have the short running from higher. So I absolutely go into 2 trades at the same time if the probabilities are there. Macro once a week, weekly 3 times, focus more on local. Use the watermark to include visually on which time frame we are. Currently easier to follow. Yeah, of course you can follow it here, but it's maybe a bit small. That is also true. Yeah, many different type of traders. Yeah. So they use different time frames. I would like to see every now and then you go a little farther back to see how it all plays out. Yeah, we only show the current scenarios. That is what's tradable or what's relevant. If you like, with regards to going back in time, maybe that's something we can do in gold, Adam, during a gold live stream, because it's not really relevant for YouTube about, oh, look, the scenario here was this and it played out. Because every new video and piece of content I make shows you how probabilities change and scenarios change. So by going back to the previous videos in time, you will see how things played out. Anyway, thanks for your feedback, guys. That's very nice. Okay, back to work. Yeah, same for me. Previous trades I took or were looking to take. Zarafa San, check the first link in the description. Because it's all public. I don't share what I necessarily take or not take, but I do share why a setup is interesting. And yes, I might take that setup, but I don't say when, because I'm not clicking for other people. They should trade for themselves. But I explain how to trade Elliott Waves, why a setup is interesting, and then I have my own reasons for entering if I see what I want to see. But it's the first link in the description. Check that one out. You go to the koenztrading channel, where you can see some previous screenshots. I actually have to put on the trades of like the recent trades. And then there's also Koen Setups channel. So yeah, probably help. Okay, structure is great how it is. Okay, well, I think most people kind of like enjoy the structure of the content so far. So thanks, guys. I really, by the way, really appreciate your feedback. Probably will do this a couple of times and, you know, see what works best. But at the moment, the way the content is made seems to be the preferred way of analyzing the chart and the content, the way it's presented with the timestamps, of course, so that people can always go to their favorite part of the video. Okay, anyway, let's get into the analysis. So currently, we are at the low of the range once again. These are all the levels that I have on my chart. And you can see that currently we are below the two possible areas of support. There was, however, no support whatsoever. We just moved to the downside. There was no sign of strength. The weekly over here, 67.3 has been passed. I'll remove it from the chart, but the white box, I'll just remain it because it's now a resistance area. Same with the monthly naked point of control, which can now act as a area of resistance, 67.2K. Now removing these, you can see we got two resistance areas, and then it's a bit of an area of nothingness, right? Also to the downside, yeah, we have the lows here, which we haven't taken just yet. But we do have a daily 65.2 and a point of control as well here, 65.2. So arguably your next area of support is down here. Lose that and we go to 63. Lose that and we're pretty much at 60. So that's how it goes. No? Okay. Devin, could you tell me what level the 20-week moving average is? Because I don't use the moving averages, but if you just only mention the price, I will immediately know the scenario that could get you there. I mean, this one, we've covered this one so often now. Just having a little bit of like just thinking for a little bit here. Are we gonna cover this? Yes, we are. But I'm gonna add a scenario, which, do I have it in my folders? No, not that one, and not that one. Okay, I'm quickly gonna put a scenario on my chart here because I want to talk about it. I used to have it in my folders, but I guess that somehow it got removed accidentally, which happens. So a little bit of analysis, a little bit of behind the scenes. Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go, there we go. Just putting this on my chart as well. Okay, very nice. So I will talk about the weekly. I mean, we hit the 886 here, so low probabilities for this bullish scenario now because of the 886 touch. We're gonna cover the local stuff. I think I might as well just. I'm gonna keep it on now. Put the one. So before we analyze the chart, you can see a little bit of a behind the scenes as I'm now making a selection on what is most relevant for the live stream. I think this one is quite interesting. Yeah, we're gonna cover this in a live stream. Bearish. One has to say that this range, man, like, it's time to get out. Let's see what happens tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a crazy day. So be prepared, right? And oh shit. Ah man, it's tomorrow. I wanted to be live, but I probably have to go to the south of France. Oh well, it happens. I might be able to do a live stream in the evening from my hotel room though, when we have some more news. Ah man, I look forward so much to actually being live at 2:30. Mate, I'll probably be in an airport by then. Ah, damn it. Fuck. Yo. I want to work. I don't want to travel. Okay. Whoop. So, we have another 33 minutes. And what we're going to do is analyze the chart, right? Now, I've selected the important scenarios and what we're going to talk about. Usually in live streams, I'm a bit more specific. And after going through these scenarios with some remaining time, I do want to talk about the very local stuff in a bit more detail, probably. So that is what we're going to do. Yeah, so was I. No, but I mean, I love what I do, and I love live streaming, especially when there's some hype around some news. I enjoy to see what happens and talk about it. But I love the story, really highlights the page over time for swing trades while also giving the educational content that helps on scalps. Cheers, maybe a band-aid. I guess we do. We continue what we do best. Do you count these sharp corrections ABC or 1 to 5? Interesting question. Answer that one in a bit. How are the probability now to have a bigger triangle? In that case, I'm not sure what the bigger. When does your triangle start, Sibel? You were talking about. I haven't spoken about a triangle here, or you mean locally? If so, that triangle is invalidated. Okay, what's up, Mark? How you doing, man? Oh, Bill, by the way, welcome, oh, Bill. And VO escape, this wave 1-2 from the 5th of big 3 looks very similar to big wave 1. Yeah. Okay, let's start. Anon, go to the educational section on my in my YouTube channel. If you scroll down on the homepage, and I made a video for you about the horizontals, daily, weekly, monthly, as well as the point of controls, the NPOC, MNPOC, WNPOC. So you know everything you need to know is there. Okay, let's start. Okay, so on a weekly, right? I gotta say, I always love to go from top down. It just shows where we are in the context, right? And what we have to pay attention to. So on the weekly, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5-wave impulsive structure, and inside 3, we have an internal count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in this scenario, we are looking for wave 4 to finish, either in or soon to be in, but then we want to move towards the upside for wave 5, right? 78.6K, 110.6K. That's a big area, but based on lower time frame counts, we can become more specific. Your target area on the daily will be a bit smaller, and on the 4-hour, a bit smaller, and on the 15, even smaller. But we need more information for that. So here we're looking towards the upside. Now, what is quite interesting is, yes, your wave 3 in yellow is the biggest wave so far. It is bigger than your wave 1. So that is good to see. But in the subdegree count that we have on the chart here, this wave 3 is actually quite short. And this is your wave 3 of a bigger wave 3. So preferably, this here is your long move, right? Your extended structure going to the 1.618, which it didn't, by the way, because it's higher. Long, strong, highest amount of volume. Now, it does have the highest amount of volume, right? But actually, preferably, we would have counted this as a bigger extension, so to say, right? So to speak. So therefore, there is another scenario I have in mind. And, well, actually two that I will talk about. So the other one is that we have a finished wave 3. Now inside this wave 3, we then have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, at least here, your wave 3 is quite a bit longer than your wave 1 and 2, right? So that's positive. But your wave 5 is very long as well. Now let's do a quick comparison between the wave 5 and the 3. So that's shorter. And if we do it here, okay, so wave 3 is shorter than wave 5. I just put this one on the chart, by the way, just before the stream. So I didn't do anything in detail with this count. But your wave 5 is longer than your wave 3, which is not great because then you have an extended 5, which is rare. So, but nonetheless, here you would be looking for a wave 4 and a wave 5 target area on the chart, preferably ending wave 4 after at least a 382. So we already touched the 236 with the low we made in the week of the 29th of April, but preferably you finish the whole correction at a later stage. But the probabilities are not higher for this scenario compared to this one. So this one still has a higher probability, and that is because your wave 5 inside 3 in this case is extended. Yeah. And your most bullish scenario is that you have a triple 1-2, but this is quite rare on higher time frames to have a triple 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and you expect a very big 3 to the upside still. So Also, every wave 2 retraced to the 0.382, which is an uncommon target for 2. So 3 times in a row, sheesh, man. All right, that's not very common, so to say. But it is something we keep in mind. Now, by all means, I show 3 scenarios. You're like, what the fuck, you know, this guy can't choose. On a weekly time frame, the probabilities remain higher to continue the trend towards the upside, right? Based on the local structures as well. Now, what scenario we get once price then moves up, as the probabilities are higher, so we're looking for price to move up. Now, if we then eventually take all-time high, based on the structures afterwards, we will get more clarity of what we're looking for exactly, right? Another reason why the probabilities on the weekly are higher to move up is because of the 886 that I have on the chart. It's been touched twice, 1, 2, taken from the high to the low. Now the 886 is a very rare target for a wave 2, right? Increasing probabilities, any move down has a higher probability of being a wave C or a wave Y, which increases probabilities to go back up at a later stage to still take the high and continue the trend, right? You just might fish for some liquidity lower first. Now, after an 886 touch, it is quite common for price to move to the golden pocket. We hit the 886, found support at the golden pocket, moved up back to the 886, and now we're back at the golden pocket. Now, the first time you hit the golden pocket is always an interesting area for support and resistance. Interesting to see what happens here. We had bigger bullish CVD divergences. These played out, as on some charts at least. Price took this high, while on mine it didn't, interestingly. But now we're back here once again, almost taking the low at 66.6k now. Based on probabilities, the more often you test resistance or support, the weaker it becomes. And we are so close to the lows of the range, and you will see very soon with the next scenario, if you want to count this 1, 2, your 2 is incredibly deep. So it increases probabilities to sooner or later take the low. Golden pocket is going to then fill as support, and we're going to look for support areas at lower prices, right? Cool. Now, the only bullish scenario you really have locally is to count this as a wave 1, 2, and you look for continuation to the upside. That is your most bullish scenario. It doesn't matter if this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 again, or if this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If your 4 is finished or if your 2 is finished, you're looking for another 1, 2. So therefore, it's your most bullish scenario. But the probabilities are low because your wave 2 is incredibly deep. Touch the 886 as well. Very rare target for 2, common for a C or Y, increasing probabilities to sooner or later take the low. Or for common, by the way, for B or X. Sorry, misspoken there. So increasing probabilities to sooner or later take out the low. So the probabilities are higher to look for that low at the moment, right? From an Elliott Wave point of view, very low probability scenario. I just wanted to talk about this 886. I'm going to remove it from my chart now, and we're going to see what price is going to give us. All right, that's actually your only most bullish scenario. All the other scenarios are, of course, then going down where you take 66.6k, which has a higher probability. So let's talk about some of these, shall we? And then, of course, cover probabilities. So, remaining bullish, we have a wave 1, 2, continuation up in 3. There is, however, 2 things that bother me with this scenario in particular. And both of these are related to the wave 1 top. This one. So we can see the target for wave 2. Fine, that's perfect. We know the support area for wave 2. That's cool. The problem, however, is your 1. If your wave 1 is finishing here, it means that you need a full impulse to the upside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finishing wave 1. Now the problem that I have with this, and which lowers Elliott Wave probabilities, as it's also just simply Elliott Wave Fibonacci retracement and time, Fib targets and Fib time, is that inside this move to the upside, we then count 5 waves. Nothing wrong counting 5 waves. Now what we are then looking for is this to be 3, this to be 4. Reason is we don't want overlap between a wave 1 and 4. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we got a 1. This wave 4 is very short compared to your wave 2. Now most commonly a wave 4 is longer in time than a wave 2. Here it is shorter. It's not impossible, but it doesn't have the highest probabilities. If we then do take a fib time from the start to the end of your wave 2 to the end of your wave 3, you can at least see that wave 4 ended after the 382, so that's something, but it didn't end after the 1 to 1. So it is shorter. Happens. If we then take a fib from the low of 3 to the high of 3, and we toggle on the targets for a wave 4, this is something I have a bigger issue with, and that is that the 0.236 isn't touched. And a 0.236 is a minimum target for 4. It is incredibly rare to have a wave 4 not even hit the 0.236. Now your very rare target, and it's not even in my template, but I do have it hidden here, is the 146. But it's so rare for a wave 4 to retrace to the 146 and bounce that I don't even have it standard in my template. It's just something I have in the background just in case, but it just lowered the probabilities for this to be a wave 4. Another thing is that volume is highest in the last push to the upside. So if we're thinking about an impulse, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what is by far most common is to end an impulse on lower volume compared to wave 3. Wave 3 volume. Wave 5 volume higher. Preferably what we see is lower volume, another high on lower volume, reduces probabilities for an impulse, which also increases probabilities for the potential of a 3-wave corrective structure, by the way, right? So it's not ideal to put wave 1 there. Now if we then put wave 1 on the high on the right, we have a truncation on my chart. So then we have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On some charts, you did take this high. On other charts, you didn't, including the one I have here. But I do know on index, you have taken that high. But that means that even though you took this high on some charts, on some others, you have a truncation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your wave 5 is truncated. Didn't take the high of 3 on some of the charts. And the truncation is incredibly rare. So as you can see, ending a wave 1 is actually quite difficult at either of these highs. So that is why, yes, it's an interesting area for wave 2. But yo, I need some good proof of support here to trade a wave 2 and look for a swing in a 3 here, because the probabilities for this scenario are not great because of wave 4, short compared to 2, shallow as well, highest volume in this high, or we have a truncation. Meh, right? Meh. Okay, now a scenario that I am interested in, which kind of gives you the same price action, it's just counted differently, is an expanding flat. So we have a wave A, B, C. And you're not really going to like what I'm going to say, but this wave A, this being a finished 3-wave structure, is actually quite difficult to count to end the range here. We've covered this in one live stream. The only way to end this range here is a 5-wave leading diagonal in a wave A or wave 1, right? Or a WXY in here. Not a double zigzag, by the way. Low probabilities for a double zigzag, and also this clearly is a 3-wave structure in the lower time frames, another 5-wave move. So a WX and then a Y double zigzag is not something we're looking at. WXY, yes, but in that case we're looking for a flat X and then zigzag, right? But your wave Y is very short, X is very short. You know, I covered that in a previous live stream. You kind of know what we're looking for. So ending wave A here as a 3-wave structure is not great. So that is the only thing which impacts the probabilities for this scenario. Now, other than that, we then count a ABC to the upside in W, three-wave structure. We look for a wave X to the downside, another zigzag up in wave Y, double zigzag, right? Common target for B in a flat is 77 to 80.4K. And then we move down in C to take the lows of A. So you're wicking the highs, pretty much. Now, if price moves down and takes out the 0.7 fib at 61.1K, this scenario immediately reduces in probabilities. Now, wave A is already a bit of a pain in the ass. It's not a nice three-wave structure. But if you hit the 07, this scenario will immediately go to the background. So 61.1K is therefore an important level, right? A minimum target for X would be the 382 at 66K. And then we have the 618 at 62.4, golden pocket, 0.7. Don't want to hit that 0.7. Now this then leaves us, of course, with more bearish scenarios. I actually wasn't sure if I wanted to cover it, but we're going to go for it anyway. So you can see on a daily time frame, in other words, the lower time frames are going to be guiding us, because on a daily, we have a couple of options, but if you hear or if you listen to what's common and rare and high and low probabilities, you kind of get a good idea that so far probabilities aren't great for this because of wave 1. For this, arguably higher probabilities for this, even though wave A is not that great, so that's something we have to consider. This would have a higher probability than a wave 1, 2 at the moment here on the chart, right? And these are pretty much the only quote-unquote bullish scenarios at the moment, where you take the high first. Because other than this, you're going to pretty much go down. Where here, we then have our leading diagonal in A, then our B and C down. The shitty thing is that why did price have to take out this high? That doesn't really work in this scenario because preferably your wave B ends on the left after a three-wave zigzag up and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. But now wave B has to go here because on some charts you took the high on the left. So wave B can't go here. Because wave C needs to be an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 2 is not allowed to take the high of 1, which happened on some charts. Doesn't work. But ending wave B here also doesn't work. You need a three-wave structure. A, B, C, okay. You know, we can count an A, B, C to up here, but what is this? We can't count W, X, Y. Your Y is so short. Didn't even hit the 0.618. Oh, to here. To the end of the range. Wait, that's the wrong pool. I need to go from this to that to that. Right. Didn't hit the 0.618 for then a zigzag W, X, and then eventually a Y, right? Minimum target not reached, low probabilities. So how can we end wave B here? Very difficult to end a wave B here. So the probabilities, not too amazing once again. Right, we're just cutting corners here, like, okay, not great, not great. So that then gives us the WXY. Regular flat, expanding flat, potentially another flat, where you look for wave A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside in wave C, ending wave Y. In other words, this. Three-wave A, three-wave B, a five-wave C. To the downside. Y target is on the chart. And this is, I almost wonder if I should have covered the daily, but I guess it's just good to know. This scenario is also shit because of your wave X. A, B is C, expanding flat. That's perfectly fine, but that means your wave C needs to be a five-wave structure, and we know what we think about that wave 4 there. So it's not great. Now, okay, daily scenarios covered. Probably in upcoming videos, I won't really talk much about the daily scenarios. I'm much more interested in local scenarios instead and the weekly. So That's pretty much the last time I've covered it. Till price will give us some more information, because locally it's actually been quite clear. Probabilities locally were higher to move down when we were here during the live stream. We were looking for a retracement. Probabilities here were higher to move down into the fib box. Remember, during the live stream and the previous videos? So we were simply waiting for price to move into the box. During the live stream explained what I'm then looking for as well yesterday. Now overnight we just dumped in it. No sign of support, no sign of strength, no nada. We're looking for price to move down. Right? Below this low, there wasn't really any area of support till we entered these areas here, and now we're below these areas. Price has touched the 886 taken from the low to the high, increasing probabilities to take the low. These two support areas now act as resistance. It's not looking too great, is it? Or, I mean, it depends if you're long or short. I mean, for my short, it looks great. But for price moving up, it doesn't look that great. So, high probabilities for price to take out this low here, which immediately invalidates any bullish scenario, right? That is a 1-2, 1-2, another 1-2 and up. So a multi 1-2 goes off the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This way 4 is getting very long now and messy, and off the table. Especially if you hit this high 65.5k, it's invalidated. So probabilities high to take out the lows of the range, and the probabilities here have been quite clear, and yeah, price just moved down. So on the lower time frames, as a 1, 2, 3 has lower probabilities, we're looking for price to move to the downside. Now currently the structure to the downside looks very much like an impulse. So as long as price is moving to the downside on volume, we are going to wait for a range to form, at least before taking any longs from an Elliott Wave point of view. Depends on the time frame, because of course you could have longed on a 1 minute. However, on a 15 minute, 1 hour, higher time frame, you like from an Elliott Wave point of view, waiting for a range is one of the best things to do. And then the range will give the next opportunity. The short here was made as price ranged and probabilities increased for a retracement, right? Arguably another interesting reason to short was over here, because we were looking for at least the fibs, but we got continuation. Well, you never know what price does, but it played out nicely. So here the most bearish scenario is an impulse to the downside in a wave 1, a 2, and you look for a deeper retracement, a bigger 5-wave move towards the downside. In that case, we then look for a wave 1, 2, a 3, 4, 5. So you want to have at least one more sideways range and one more drop to the downside. The target for your wave 3 commonly is at least the 1.618, which is sitting at 64.2k. In other words, you got to lose the support box here, 65.1, 65.3, and we're likely going to hit that support. Your bullish alternative is an ABC, where the common target for your wave C is between the 1 and the 1.236. 66.5, 65.6k. Now, as you can see, the first area of resistance I have to the downside is below these areas. But this is your target area. Did we hit the 1-to-1, by the way? Almost. So at the moment, that is your bullish scenario. Reason is that after an ABC, you expect a bigger bounce back towards the upside. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to expect some lower prices now, looking to the downside. Then we have a nice swing short to play with. So that's what I'm looking for. I mean, probabilities are higher to move down. Can't bring it differently. And then from an Elliott Wave point of view, we just wait for a range. And the range will give us all the information. If we're going to start a bigger range here, probabilities, could be there for an ABC and then look for a bounce. But if price is just going to keep pushing to the downside, if you lose the support, 63 is getting close. Did we take this low now already? Yes, we did. So we finally took the low here. Okay, so step 1 is achieved. So at least we finally got that one out of the way. So the first low is taken of this range. Let's have a look locally here. Price started ranging sideways here for a bit. Currently the highest amount of volume is here. So from an Elliott Wave point of view, with the local move down, I don't have it in my folders anymore, but 1 2 1 2, arguably another double 1 2 here, but then we have our 3, and we are having a grinding ranging structure to the downside. Now a grinding ranging structure like this after a sharp move, which has the highest amount of volume, is something you do tend to see in wave 4-5 price action, where multiple wave 4s and 5s are stacking up, right? So I won't be surprised if by taking the lows, we at least get a little bit of a bounce and a bigger range, as we've already been moving down so far. But then again, I'm so not interested in any long positions as long as price is not giving a decent range, right? At least a couple of hours minimum. So, and then we reanalyze the chart again the moment we get a range, because as long as price is moving down on volume, we just look for downside, right? And if we do get a bigger range, we now took the low, so that's nice. We also, by the way, moved below support, acted as resistance, moved to the downside, took the low. If you're talking about support resistance trading, this was an amazing setup, no? Ops, TP1, voila. Mon ami, c'est tout. So, yeah. So quite interestingly, the probabilities on the weekly time frame remain higher for price to move up, as long as you don't at least hit 49.3K. The daily time frame is a mess, right? There's a lot happening on the daily, but at the same time, there's very little happening because this scenario has a short wave 4, both in price and in time. Another scenario has a truncated wave 1, another scenario, blah, 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 right? Wave B ending at the high doesn't really work nicely. So the daily time frame is a mess. So we can label that one neutral, which means we're going to keep an eye on the lower time frames. And on the lower time frames, we just took the low at 66.6K. We have been creating a little bit of a range here, a sideways structure, grinding down after the highest volume move. So the probabilities are there for this move to the downside to get towards a bit of an end, right? As price has been moving down after the highest amount of volume, bit of volume here moving down. Of course, we took the low, so naturally volume is high in this particular candle. But it's a bit of a grind here. But it's before you get a bigger range. Well, we just look for a downside still, but we could get a potential bit of a bounce or a range here, because there's arguably potential for a couple of 4-5s, 4-5, 4-5, 4-5. After a few 1-2s, you get price moving down, and then 4-5, 4-5, 4-5, 4-5, right? But so far, zero strength, bearish CVD divergences all over the place, all the time. Also here, price moving down, bearish CVD, bearish CVD, bearish CVD. It's just bearish CVD all the time. Even here, lower high, higher high, bearish CVD. So we also touched the 886 down there, by the way. So the probabilities were higher to take out the lows anyway because of the 886 that we touched from the low to the high. That one, and here. So we touched the 886 and you move to the upside, higher probability. Wave C of wave Y, increasing probabilities to sooner or later take the lows. Now, check. So we got that one. The 886 is very interesting. I definitely recommend to keep that one in mind. You will see it a lot. So yeah, probabilities remain higher to move down until we create a significant sideways ranging structure of at least a couple of hours that is going to change the probabilities for price to move up based on the local structures that we then see. So we had a sharp move down. We observed this range. We didn't touch the 0.382 taken from the low to the high. So we were waiting for price to come down. It moved up, up, up. We were waiting for price to come down. It went down, no support, bloop. I mean, yeah, what do? You know, we can only react in that case and look for lows. So this is pretty much it. So weekly time frame remains very clear. Lower time frame arguably is quite clear as well, as we simply look for a range to form from an Elliott Wave point of view now, and take it step by step, level by level. But we do have a grinding structure here to the downside, so there is the potential for a bit of a range to form. And we are close to ABC, the ABC wave C area, but it's difficult to say if this turns into an impulse or if this is an ABC. Holy moly. Okay, so wow, hello voice. So yeah, well, we took the low of the range. If you hit 65.5k, it also invalidates all of this to be a wave 4. A, B, C, D. Yeah, and a triangle is still too early. So it's too early to call. You need at least a wave D before thinking about triangles in this range. So that is irrelevant for now as well. So yeah, that's it. I can't bring you more now. I won't be able to make a video tonight because it's the birthday of my dad today. He's turning 63. Yeah, we're gonna have dinner together with the family tonight. So yeah, that's it. Weekly time frame probabilities remain higher for upside. Daily time frame very messy. I prefer looking at the lower time frames, and here on the 50-minute there is the potential here for a bounce, just because price has been grinding to the downside after a sharp high volume move down, which is something you like to see in wave 4-5 price action. So you have 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 4 5 4 5, and then you expect a bit of a range to form. Now personally, no financial advice, I just wait for a range to form before considering any longs to the upside. I'm happy in my short swing from 71k, a little bit above 71.5 or something, and the long that I had over here at about 67.7, 67 point whatever, that one I already first of all put my stop loss at break even, so the remainder is out, right? And I got my short from higher, and before I need to have confidence for longs again, I need to see a bigger range. We are below the support areas. They can now act as resistance. We have a order block here on the 1 hour chart at 68.3k, which is resistance. We're at the lower end of the range. We just took this low. We have one more low left, 66, and then pretty much the next area of support is 65.1, 65.3. So yeah, there you go. Well, that's that pretty much. Yeah, so I do consider the potential of a truncation on some of the charts where this high didn't take this high. So it is something I at least keep in mind. However, I prefer to keep an eye on local price action. So if this really is a wave 3, we need it to extend below this box. So the sooner you're going to start a bigger range, the more bullish it is, in other words. And that is what we're waiting for, no? To see what happens. So sentiment wasn't a convincing bounce of 66.5. We barely even have a bounce from 66.5 at the moment. You know, we wick the low. We are ranging here for now, grind to the downside, but yeah, just wait for a bigger range to form. Sentiment, I don't follow crypto Twitter and all that stuff, so it's difficult for me to really say what the sentiment is. But what I like is thinking against the herd. So everyone bullish, I prefer looking for downside. I mean, of course, there's a reason I took a short at 71.4k. Why? I mean, we mentioned in the live stream, probabilities were higher to look for a retracement to the downside. We got the retracement. Okay, this being said, I will check out the chat later. I can answer some questions at another time, but I do have to go. By the way, this answer here would be no, unless we take 49.3k. But I have to go because I got to catch a train because my dad's birthday, right? So got to move there. If you have any questions that I haven't answered here in the chat, please write me in Discord. Just write me in the general chat or the questions to Koen channel, which is in Discord, because I will be traveling in the train now. So I will answer any questions that I get, right? So if I haven't answered your question in here, because I can't, because I have to go, please write me in Discord and I'll make sure to answer you in Discord, okay? Because I have some time on my hands while I'm traveling anyway. So that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out and listening to my analysis on Elliott Waves. If you like it, you know what to do. We're on YouTube. And if you don't, you also know what to do. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Tomorrow is another video in the morning, right? We have another update. I'm not yet sure if I can live stream because I might be in an airplane. So I'll keep you updated in Discord and in the community post section on YouTube tomorrow. So that being said, thanks for hanging out. And I'm going to catch you at the next one.